Hi guys, welcome back to AFTV and good morning to you all. It's an early start on Europa League day, Europa League kickoff day. We're back tonight. We're facing Rapid Vienna away from home in front of fans actually, which is going to be that's going to be probably quite surreal for some of the players. But we're back. We're ready to take it on, and I'm quite hopeful that this year we can go on a good run and hopefully win the competition. But obviously, we saw what happened against Olympiacos, and a lot of people, while we might fancy ourselves to go on and win it, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially if some of those top sides drop in from the Champions League. So look, we're here to basically discuss Mikel Arteta's press conference. He was he was asked about Mesut Ozil, who put out a statement yesterday. He was asked about injuries and sort of how we're sort of going to approach the Europa League this year. He was asked about Thomas Partey potentially starting. So we're here to sort of chat about all that. I'll take some of your questions, and we'll get into it. Let's start with the Mesut Ozil quotes though, because there's quite a lot of stuff here. You've got it sort of popping up at the bottom here. I don't know who was following the press conference last night, but it was really, really interesting because Mikel Arteta, I mean, we knew he wasn't going to throw the board under the bus or the people upstairs or whatever, but he really, really, really took on the blame for what's happened to Mesut Ozil and said that it was footballing reasons. That was all down to him. Let's read out a little bit about what he said about Mesut Ozil. He said, "It's just a football decision that my conscience is very calm about because I was very fair with him. My level of communication with him has been really high. We know what to expect from each other. When I believe that he could contribute to the team to be better, which is why I was hired to this football club, to become the manager, to win football matches, competitions, and create and build a project for the short, medium, and long term. He has had the opportunity like everybody else. I'm sad that I had to leave 3 players off this list, which is never pleasant, but I just have to say that I tried to look everybody in the eye and be comfortable with it. With Mesut, I had this feeling because I have been very straightforward since I arrived at this club." So he's basically saying that he had to make a decision and it was down to footballing, reasons, and that he essentially sort of didn't have, he didn't really have much of a choice. Let's just take a few comments here from ON 1999. Arteta took the blame from the board. I mean, I think there's a lot of truth in that, to be honest. And I'm not saying that's not admirable of Arteta or that he didn't do the right thing, but I'm definitely under the impression that he put himself forward and he threw himself under the bus to protect the board and the decisions that they might have made. Now, of course, it's all speculative and we can't know for sure, but maybe it was just footballing reasons, but it just doesn't seem right to me. He was playing a lot Mesut Ozil before, to not get any minutes after post lockdown and everything. I don't know, something doesn't feel right to me. Ahmed Farah says, "Let Ozil play, G." I mean, I know that's the feelings of a lot of people. I mean, I unfortunately feel it's I feel it's sort of done, to be honest. But let's look at a few more quotes from Mesut Ozil, because this is where sorry, not Mesut Ozil, from Mikel Arteta, because this is I think where it gets really interesting. He says, "My job is to get the best out of every player, to contribute to the team and the performance. Here, I feel at the moment today that I've failed because I want the best Mesut possible for the team. In some moments, I was able to get close to that, but in other moments, I haven't been able to because I had to make the decision to leave him out the squad." I mean, just that word there, that I failed because I want the best possible Mesut for the team. I mean, he's really taking it on. He's not shying away from putting the blame on himself. He's not putting it down. He speaks at great length about the Ozil thing, and I wonder whether maybe he felt he should, in this one press conference, really try and take on as much as possible, go into a lot of detail, and then hopefully be done with it after that. I mean, it's getting tiresome now. The decision's been made. Understand that Arteta's going to be asked about it yesterday, but hopefully this is kind of the last of it. You hope, anyway. A couple more comments here. Collins Brewer, not footballing reasons. I think most people agree with that, to be honest. What else have we got here? Jamal Yima, Arteta taking the bullets like Wenger in the final years. That's probably very true. What else have we got? Yeah, more people saying not footballing reasons, bring Ozil back. Udav says, let's move on from Ozil and focus on winning. And I echo that. I think it's a situation. Robbie and I spoke about it in great length yesterday. Go check out that live stream we did. You know, we've all spoken about it for ages now. Everyone's spoken about it for ages. Everyone's had an opinion on this for a very long time. No one really knows what's going on. I think it's time to move on and let this go now. It's happened. People are going to be disappointed about it. People want answers, and I'm sure we're going to get them. But I would just like to focus on, you know, what goes on the pitch now, quite frankly, and the players that we have got. Let's round off his comments on Ozil. He says, when asked on what Ozil was doing, what Ozil wasn't doing on the pitch to meet Arteta's expectations, rightly he says that he can't discuss individual performances of every player, that he feels pain when he had to leave players out, and it was the same for Socrates and William Saliba, who obviously can't play in the Europa League, and that he's going to continue training for us now. And he's also said that he was asked whether something happened during lockdown. He says, you know, you'll get to know me more. I'm not very focused on what happened during the past, and you know what happened. You know, a lot of stuff has happened over the last 6 years, but he basically is able to just sort of move on from things and let things go. So, yes, look, it's not a nice situation. Arteta's really, really fronted it up in the press, probably more than ever before. He's really come out and said, "It's me. I'm the one who's chosen not to play him. Can't exactly tell you why. That's internal stuff, but I've decided not to select him. It's painful. I wanted to get more out of him. I feel like I failed because I've not." He's really, really, really trying to convince us that this was his decision. And I think he's hoping that by doing that, it puts everything to bed. I think the reality is it doesn't. And I love Mikel and I get what he's doing, and I would do the same. And I imagine most managers would do the same. But I'm not quite sure I really believe him. I think there's more to it. In fact, I'm very convinced there's more to it. I think everyone is, to be honest. Let's have a little look. This is from Walk R6 TV. Do you feel like Arsenal failed Ozil or the other way around? From the outside looking in, I feel like some of your fan base were quite hostile towards him in recent times. Horrible for confidence. That's an interesting one. Do I feel like Arsenal failed Ozil or the other way around? I'll be honest. I think at times it was a marriage made in heaven, and at other times they failed each other. Sorry for the middle of the line answer there. I think there were times where Ozil was in his prime years and we didn't sign a proper striker who would get the best out of him. And I also feel we didn't have a proper midfield that would support him. I felt we had a really good chance of winning the title in the 2015-16 season. And that was when Mesut Ozil was at his best. He was playing brilliantly, and we had Alexis Sanchez, who missed a few months because of injury. Cazorla missed most of the season injured. Wilshere the same. And we played with Flamini as our holding midfielder, who Flamini was a good servant to the club when he was here, and he huffed and puffed and did well, and he was a decent player, but he wasn't the sort of holding midfielder, you know, that was going to help bring the best out of Mesut Ozil, that was going to require him not to focus on the defensive duties and worry about going forward. And Olivier Giroud, who scored a lot of goals that season, but, you know, missed so many chances. And, you know, Ozil, I mean, he was a long way towards the 20 assist record total in that 15-16 season by February, and then struggled to get more assists as the Premier League sort of, you know, title race, got hotter and hotter. So I think we kind of failed him, but at the same time, once he signed that contract, I felt we never saw the best of Ozil after that. He had moments, and I think he tried and he worked hard, but I'm not really sure we saw the best of him. So a bit of both there, if I'm being completely honest. What else have we got? Let's have a look here. Oh, sorry, that's just disappeared. There we go. Let's have a look here. Humphrey Liaga says, fans should not get on Arteta's back just yet. He beat his chest and took full responsibility. Bale's let out as a down in the league last season. Let's see what Arteta does. Then we can cuss him. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I think he's taken it on. He's been completely transparent about it all. He's been really honest about everything that's going on. Let's not get on his back. Let's see how the team does before we worry about whether this was the right decision, wrong decision, whether he's a puppet or not, or whether, let's just see how the team does. Remember, he's not had a full year at the club yet. So, look, very good points there, guys. He goes on to talk about the Europa League as well. This is a competition that I feel like in the 3 years we've been in it, we really should have won at some point. Obviously, we lost Atletico Madrid that first year under Wenger. I thought we were quite good in those 2 legs. I was at the Emirates when we lost. We lost at home. Well, we didn't lose at home. It felt like a loss. That 1-1 draw when Griezmann scored, and it was a Koscielny error, I think, or maybe a bit unfortunate. I felt we should have won that year. I thought we were I thought we were a good team in Europe that season. And then the year after, to lose at Baku was heartbreaking, not just because of the manner of the defeat, but because I thought we were confident going into that, and we probably should have won that one. And then what happened against Olympiacos? Again, I was at that game, and we did not play well. We were really stuck for ideas. So this is going to be really interesting to see how we approach the Europa this year. Here's what he said on where the Europa League ranks in his priorities. He says, "We are very excited to be playing back in Europe again after a difficult season where we had to earn our right to play here through winning the FA Cup." We all remember that. That was a big day. Winning, you're in Europe and you got extra pocket of cash, and losing, it could be a very tricky summer. He then says, "It's a big bonus for us. We want to make the best out of it, and every competition that we are involved in, our aim is to try to win it." I like that. I like that he's coming out and saying we want to win it. He says similar things here as well. He says what we're looking for in this competition is to go as far as possible and win it. He's then asked on what difference it will make playing in front of fans again, because that's the interesting thing. There's going to be some fans in Vienna. Not 100% sure whether, it can't be full capacity, but there's going to be fans watching the game. And, there's been a lot of discussion, and Cecil and I are going to discuss it on our live later today. Catch that as the live build-up pre-match show. We're just going to talk about fans being back and what impact that's going to have on teams. What impact it might have on Arsenal. Robbie and I have always said that maybe fans not being at the Emirates allows for Arsenal and Arteta to attempt maybe a slightly riskier style of football, whether it's playing out the back or playing passes they might not feel naturally comfortable playing in front of an edgy crowd at times, maybe. But that's going to be interesting. But asked about the fans, he says, "I don't know. I think it's going to be really nice. It will be strange, but finally we're going to have some people there watching us who are not just the people working around us on a daily basis. It's an experience. Let's see how we feel about it, but it is a very positive thing," which I think is great. Great to hear as well. Let's see if we've got any more comments coming up here. UGT49, James, do you think Europa League still matters? It's one of those competitions that it is hard. I'll admit this. I don't want to admit this, but I'll admit that it is hard to feel as pumped for games in the Europa League group stage and feel as excited and feel as revved up for, if you know what I mean. And I mean no disrespect to some of the opposition, but we had years and years of Champions League football, of sort of big nights playing against certain teams, and the way we approach the Europa League, I think we're just a little apathetic about it. Where it does get exciting, where I do enjoy it, is that we get youngsters breaking through like Martinelli and Saka last year. They were a joy, and I went to quite a few Europa League group games last season. It was good fun. We played good football. We played more freely. I often preferred our lineup in the Europa League, so I wonder whether that's going to be the same today. But to answer your question, it undoubtedly matters, because the race for the top 4 is going to be fiercely competitive as ever before. I think the teams, whether we've improved or not in the league as a whole, it's definitely got closer. And I think Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester United, Everton, Wolves, maybe even Leeds, they're going to make it really, really difficult. So I think we have to give our all in the Europa League. And I think we have to try and win it, mainly because of silverware, because we all want silverware. And if you ask me now, which route would I prefer to enter the Champions League in, top 4 or winning the Europa? I'd always pick winning the Europa League. You want silverware. That's, you know, that's the reality of it. We want to win things. Abel Oz says, Arteta out. He still lack maturity to become manager. Now, everyone entitled to their opinion. It is his first job. It's a big first job. I personally don't agree. I think he's approached, you know, the pandemic and, you know, some of the injuries we've had and some of the other problems, contract issues, what happened with Granit Xhaka. I feel like he's, you know, I think he's handled it masterfully, to be honest. I don't think many managers, if any, could have dealt with it much better. So, you know, good on him. We've got someone else here, I think, a bit of doubt. Sador Alem Zeged. How can we trust Arteta after this? Because everybody can see that he is not telling the reality. Look, I think that's a good point to make. I mean, he's talking to us, and we all know that. Well, we're all very convinced that what he's saying isn't true, but I think we've just got to accept that that's what managers do, unfortunately, and we don't get wholehearted transparentness anymore from clubs and from managers, you know, because there's other interests to protect. And I don't have too much of an issue with that. I think we can all sort of see what's going on. Let's move on to some other quotes, because we potentially have some debuts coming up in this Europa League campaign, and potentially tonight. He's asked about whether Runar Runarsson will play, our new number 13, our new replacement as our backup goalkeeper. Doesn't say a lot about it. Arteta, he says, I cannot tell you the lineup for tomorrow. I'm sorry. So I think he will play. I think this is a good opportunity to give Runarsson some game time. He didn't play in the cup ties. I'm not sure if we'd signed him by Leicester. I think we had, but he didn't play in the Carabao Cup game against Liverpool either. And Leno was superb in that match. So yes, no sort of concrete understanding whether Runarsson will play. I think he will. And then the big one on whether Thomas Partey will play. Here's his quotes. He says, he reacted really well. He came on and looked strong and confident against Man City. And he added something positive to the team. It was a very short turnaround for him since he joined the team. He had a day and a half only in training. He has done a few more training sessions and he looks ready to start. He looks ready to start. That's what we want to hear. I actually don't think Partey will start tonight. I think he'll get maybe 30, 35 minutes. I think he'll get a good, solid amount of football. I don't think he'll start, mainly because I think he's going to be starting against Leicester. I just have a feeling that Arteta doesn't want to waste too much time. Not betting Partey in and getting him into the 11 and picking up points where we can. I think you can forgive a defeat at the Etihad where we have a particular game plan, and maybe a defeat at Anfield and not starting Gabriel, where again we had a particular game plan. I think fans can accept and forgive that, but I don't think what we can forgive is dropping points at home to Leicester, who are on a bad run of form after losing at home to West Ham and Aston Villa it was. But also because we're at home, and I expect to beat anyone we play at home. So I think Partey will be drafted in. I think we'll see the likes of maybe Elneny, Willock, maybe Smith Rowe playing in midfield today. Who's then asked about the likes of Nelson, Smith Rowe and Willock playing for the under-23s. He says, we believe that they were 3 players who needed some minutes, especially with the international break. They didn't have the chance to play for their countries. So it was almost a 3 or 4 week gap without a game, and we want everybody to be in a good rhythm. They were very positive about it, and they had a really good performance, which is good because we have everybody prepared to compete when they have the opportunity. Look, I'm fine with that. Give them minutes, Saliba too, get them playing in the under-23s. I think that's important. Have no real issue with that. And as we saw from our bench, it's not like we miss them necessarily. I mean, they're good players. They've got a lot to offer, but the bench was full of quality as well. So I'm sort of okay with that. Let's take a few more comments. They're all jumping around. MTC, what is your score prediction for today? Well, tune into as I mentioned before, tune into the pre-match build-up show with me and Cecil. Done a bit of a mini breakdown on Rapid Vienna. They started the season well, 3 wins out of 4, 1 draw. They've got a lot of pace at wing back and in the front 3, and a real target man up front. So I do think they'll cause us problems, especially if today is the day we we trial a back four. But I think we'll go for. I think we'll win 2-1. I'm going to go for that. I think a 2-1 win. Obviously, it depends on who plays. But I think we'll get a 2-1 win. What else have we got here? Zamani, NCM, sell Laka, sell Xhaka, release Ozil. Time for 4-3-3. Interesting. I think Lacazette's been. Arteta sort of played him into form. He's looking a lot better. Jack, I think's done well, and Ozil, I agree it's time to go, and I do agree it's time for the 4-3-3. What else have we got coming up here? Daniel Yalop, will we sign Houssem Aouar in January? Well, I believe that a lot of reports were saying Aouar or Partey. I believe that that we wanted both. Really, I don't think it was an either-or situation, so I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if we do go for him. Huz says, do you think Willian was a good signing? Look, I actually do, and I feel a little bit sorry for Willian because I thought he played really well at Fulham. I thought we saw that was a good debut. A lot of people likened it to Mkhitaryan and his debut, and I get that. But I think Willian still has something to offer. I think if we play him in the number 10 or out on the left, I think we'll see a little bit more of him. And I think he'll come into the ball and come a bit more central and do well. So, yeah, I do think he was a good signing. Andy Andrea, start Laka. Yeah. What, in the Europa League or against Leicester? But I think, I think Lacazette deserved to start against City, especially if we're going to play Aubameyang out wide. I'd like to see Aubameyang down the middle. I was quite resistant to that, where a lot of people were saying, he definitely needs to play down the middle. I sort of understood why Arteta was playing out on the wing. But I'm starting to change my mind on that. So, yeah, start Laka if you're going to have Over out on the left. But otherwise, definitely, definitely get Laka in there. What else have we got? This is an interesting one. Triple X. The reason I think we are a bit dodgy in attack is due to Arteta not trusting our defence. I think it's time he should. I think that's a really good point you made there, because we're not attacking with much creative freedom simply because he wants to sort of tighten up at the back, really. And you can see that we sort of sacrificed something going forward for that. So, no, good point to make there. Just going to end on a bit of injury news because there has been quite a lot of updates since the game against who did we play? Man City, obviously. Let's start with the bad news. Unfortunately, Danny Ceballos has got a left ankle injury, slight ankle bruising, so he'll miss Thursday's match. I believe that he's not ruled out for Sunday yet, so we'll see what happens there. Rob Holding, a right hamstring injury. He sustained that during the warm-up on Sunday at Manchester City. He's likely to be out of action for about 3 weeks, which is a real shame because I thought he was looking good and I thought he was earning Arteta's trust there. Let's have a look. We've got Willian, right calf injury. Will miss Thursday's match, being assessed ahead of Sunday. So that's a shame for Willian, who I think needs to be played into form. I think with time he will get there. I'm confident Willian will prove to be a decent signing, at least for a year and a half. But the good news that comes out of all this is that Shkodran Mustafi sustained that obviously right hamstring injury. It was quite a bad one as far as hamstring injuries go, I believe, in the FA Cup semi-final back in July. And now August, September, October, 3 months later, he's now back in full training and available selection. Stumbling on my words there. Available for selection. We saw him in the training pictures. He looks ready to play. And Mustafi's a funny one because he was, every Arsenal fan's enemy. I mean, back at the end of the 18-19 season, what a turnaround for him. He's looked so good under Arteta. A lot of people are calling him for him to start against alongside Gabriel when he's back fit. And, there's a real argument for that. I mean, hopefully he can rediscover his form because he looked absolutely brilliant. And, massive credit to him. What a turnaround. So it would be great to see him. It'd be great to see him play today. He played in the Europa League opener in the last season. Oh, who did we play? Eintracht Frankfurt. I thought he looked really good in that game as well. So, look, good team news. Good to have them back, and good to hear Mikel Arteta talking. You know, because it's been a week of skepticism and a week of sort of maybe a little bit of negativity after the way things ended in the City game and the speculation around Ozil and our lack of creativity. But hey, it's he's spoken out. He's taken everything on the chin, on the chest. Really, he said, "It's my decision." You know, he says, "I've failed because I want the best possible measure for the team." I think he's just saying that. I don't think he's failed. I don't think you win the FA Cup without Mesut Ozil and say you failed. Maybe he feels he could have done more for Mesut Ozil in this situation, but it's all speculation. But hey, look, you know, thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for the discussion. It's been good fun. We're going to do more of these sort of press conference discussions, going through Arteta's quotes, you know, reading between the lines. Is there something there he said that maybe suggests something else? Is there not? You know, do his quotes change your mind about Ozil's statement or your thoughts on what went on? And it definitely got me thinking, but I'm not sure it's changed my mind. But look, loads of live content coming today. Me and Cecil are going to be live for the pre-match build-up show. That's at about 3:30. We're going to go live discussing Rapid Vienna, Bukayo Saka's breakthrough in the Europa League, where it went wrong against Man City. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. And then we obviously got the live team news coming up with Robbie and the guys. We've then got the obviously watch along, and then Pippa and Charlene doing the aftermath, and the fan cams coming out. It's all day Arsenal, which why not? It's a Thursday. Why not? Let's enjoy it. So guys, thanks so much for commenting. It's been it's been good fun, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.